Forestay VC, right? What are you doing here in Eastern Europe?
Yeah, maybe I should start with a kind of an overall introduction about ourselves. So Forestay Capital is a venture capital fund based between Geneva and London, part of a large investment group called Bflexion, which is a large, asset management platform that does different things across different asset classes, and we're the venture capital fund of the group, investing in enterprise software across Europe, Israel, and East Coast of North America, US mainly, for time zones reasons for now, until we have an office there. But the main markets are Europe and Israel, and within Europe, the CE region has been a focus for us as well. We've been trying to develop the relationships and our deal flow in the region, and that's the reason why myself I'm present at How to Web, which is a conference that gathers
your second time, right? Your second time here, right?
My second time at How to Web. I love the conference. I think it's a fantastic event, not only from a founder's perspective, but also anyone kind of supports those founders and VCs. And it's a great opportunity for us just to meet with the ecosystem and develop those relationships I was talking about. Yeah.
Thank you. And I think that we should get more specific, right?
Yeah.
Maybe with your portfolio.
Yeah.
I want to ask you which one is your favorite, because we all love the same, right? Our founders. But what's your most I don't know, vertical that you're interested in,
Yeah, so I'll be a little bit biased here because obviously I don't work with all the portfolio companies and a little bit closer to the ones I work with on a daily basis. But so we invest across sectors at Forestay. Now we have some themes that we're trying to, be a little bit smarter and try to develop some thesis there. And cybersecurity is one segment where we're trying to
Israel, right?
Between Europe and Israel, effectively. I mean, indeed, we invest in Israel. It's an important market for us, and cybersecurity is obviously, the super hot sector there. So, but from a portfolio perspective, I think I can name a few. I think one of our flagship investments. So it's a US-based company called Wasabi Technologies, providing cloud storage. It's been growing exponentially since day one. Founded by superstars David Friend and Jeff Flowers, who are super known in the mass area. And what they do is they provide cloud storage like AWS or the other hyperscalers, but 80% cheaper and a lot faster than what the cloud providers can do. So that company is super interesting because cloud storage is an enormous market. It's growing, on a yearly basis exponentially as well. It's basically unlimited because data is created day over day, and yeah, unlimited market, great technology, and a good team makes it a good investment so far for us. Another one maybe I can mention in Israel, since it's the topic of the discussion, is Verity, a cybersecurity company. It's why we loved it. It's because it was at the intersection between security and data. Because what the company was doing was integrating with the existing security stack within enterprises, kind of gathering all the telemetries and logs from those tools, making sense, applying ML, and try to identify which tools might be misconfigured, and rectify that automatically, and remediate to those potential threats facing the organization. So we call it that round, the Series A with Insight back in 23, and we just sold it to Checkpoint a few months ago. So
because you talked about cybersecurity,
yeah.
I've actually seen that coming, but you've probably also seen that coming with my next question about dual use and defense.
Sorry?
About dual use and defense.
Dual use and defense, yeah. So what's the question?
Are you looking into that sector, or you're just looking into cybersecurity and consider it as the dual use? Yeah, and
it's definitely, you're right. I think cybersecurity and defense are closely related, and we saw, by the way, in the last NATO summit, right, where the leaders of the European and the Americans kind of gathered, and there was this 5% of GDP commitment from European leaders in defense investments, and part of that 5%, I think we have 1.5% actually targeting cybersecurity. So it shows that cybersecurity is becoming more and more entangled with defense, and there are a lot of reasons for that. We can elaborate on this, but so we're starting to look at those dual use cases. But for now, we're more focused on cybersecurity for the enterprise use case. Whereas in defense, you usually have a kind of a hardware component as well, which we, for now, are not investing in those type of businesses and focusing only on software. But it's definitely something on our radar and might evolve in our investment thesis. Yeah.
You're an early growth fund, right?
Yes.
How do you support founders and your portfolio beyond capital? If you can give me some specifics, not, okay, we have this Notion page where they can go to and look for some tools and discounts. How is it like specifically how you do it and how maybe your platform team is doing this?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, and I'm happy to go through this because we pride ourselves to be super supportive to our founders and companies. And so we bring really three things to the table. One is capital, as you mentioned. So not super differentiated, but it's important because we can be there in the long run, even when in the rainy days, not just when it's sunny out there. So that's one. Two is, being part of Reflection, we benefit from an extensive network in North America, Europe, and Israel, and we can tap into it to help our portfolio companies for whatever, needs they have, whether it's, legal, IP, finance, you name it. We have different expertise within the group we can tap into. So that's two. And three is we come from the enterprise world. Our funding partner, Fred Volvent, was a former CIO across large organizations. So, buying and scaling tech for those enterprises. So he's been on the other side of the fence and understand, how to scale tech within those enterprises. And frankly, we also benefit from a good network of other CIOs or CISOs or you name it, and where we can be helpful to our portfolio companies by opening doors or accelerating, some accounts they want to get into. And those are kind of the three main things. But aside from that, obviously, we're closely collaborating with the leadership team, the CEO and founder, in their, whatever need they help, whether it's hiring or, thinking about the strategy. Bringing our pattern recognition, because at the end of the day, this is what we're trying to do is just bring some sort of perspective, because when you're a founder, you have to make a lot of decisions, maybe on a daily basis, and sometimes, hearing from your investors that have seen successful but also not so successful things can be helpful for them to kind of think about stuff that might not just be obvious for them in that moment. So.
Don't make those mistakes if the others already did them, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, obviously, every company operates in different industry, it's different, but there are some things that, we believe could be applied across the board, and we try to bring that to our founders, whenever they ask or whenever we think, it might be useful for them to hear what we're seeing and how this can actually bring an answer to a potential problem they're facing, yeah.
Because you were talking about providing support coming from your background in the enterprise, and you invest at enterprise, did the enterprise sales become harder? I think that this is a question that we should answer or try to get an answer to. Because people are thinking that everything is fine and dandy, but with AI and vibe coding and this might get harder, right?
Yeah. I think so. The answer to your first question is absolutely. I think in 22, when kind of the craziness kind of stopped, so we saw an overall slowdown in the SaaS kind of market where enterprises were not willing to buy, or at least buy more in terms of tools, and there was this kind of a SaaS trend going downwards. And then, with the release of ChatGPT in late November in 22 and 23, with the Gen AI coming up, there was this new revolutionary technology that came to market, and all of a sudden enterprises obviously, saw, the capability of this technology and how it could disrupt basically any sector and even their, day-to-day work. And enterprises kind of rushed into it, and obviously every kind of CIOs have budget now to allocate to AI and make use of AI and thinking about how can AI, improve and help their day-to-day lives. So there was a slowdown. Now it's coming up again, but I have also to mention that this AI rush that has happened over the last 24 months has also kind of hit a little bit of a wall, because you saw maybe recently MIT kind of published a research saying, okay, AI is great, but the ROI we're expecting actually is not here. So enterprises are actually, asking themselves, okay, we need to get into AI, but we need actually to do it properly, and what do we actually need to set things straight to make the most out of this revolutionary technology. And I think we're at that stage where companies are now trying to figure out, okay, how can I actually, leverage those LLM and AI with my enterprise data? And this is usually where the bottleneck is in terms of how actually, enterprises are ready from a data stack perspective to make, the most out of this AI. So, and I think we believe there's an opportunity, at least from an investor perspective, where, the modern data stack, which was not so sexy over the last 2 years, but it's coming back to the front end of the priority for those enterprises. Yeah.
So maybe software is still eating the world. How do you see it going forward in the enterprise sector for you as a growth fund?
Yeah, I think we're still big believers in software, and I think the extension of that sentence from Mark Andreessen is, software is eating the world, but is AI eating software? And I think that's a good question. I don't have the full answer here, but what we're seeing, at least at Forestay, is the marginal cost of developing software is actually decreasing that drastically, and that will, change and disrupt a lot of things and a lot of even ways enterprise operate in the future. All that to say that I think there will still be opportunities in software and in AI at the application layer for sure. I think we are big believers as well in kind of those vertical focused AI solutions where they try to bring that automation that the simple SaaS tools couldn't in the past. And where we see actually a big opportunity is, from the transition from SaaS to AI, is SaaS solutions at the end of the day, were super good. They were a good system of records, bringing, operational efficiency to companies, but not so much automation. A lot of that, workflow that's been built on top of those SaaS tools have been developed by humans. And we believe with AI, we can actually, there are some of those use cases and workflows, maybe not the most complex ones, but there's a layer of workflows that's been developed by humans on top of those SaaS tools that AI will be able to automate. And this is where we try to see or at least identify which ones could be a potential target for the next AI solution and disrupt, those workflows within enterprises. And the CFO stack is one area we're currently looking for. Cybersecurity is also something we know it's going to be disrupted, because especially around the SOC team, there's a shortage of skills and talents in the industry. There's a huge alert fatigue from potential threats evolving on a daily basis. So you need automation to face all that. And since you don't have enough talents, you don't have enough humans, but you have AI that can scale, indefinitely and potentially, come here and help also security professionals in their day-to-day work.
And your answer actually gave me the last question.
All right.
That's gonna be on this buzzword, or not so much of a buzzword, agentic AI. How do you see this agentic AI wave hype panning out as an enterprise investor, also at growth stage?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the agentic AI architecture and framework is obviously super promising, and we're clearly kind of following, you know, what's happening and the development there. Now, there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of buzzwords and
automation with people.
exactly. So there's agentic and there's agentic, like that's what's being said currently in the market, and but I think we're getting there as the models, you know, are evolving and getting smarter, and also, you know, companies understanding really how enterprises operate and their workflows, because it goes both ways. I think we're in at least in a good spot to get to that, you know, agentic framework, but it's going to take some time, and for that to happen, enterprises need to do their bits as well, from an, you know, a readiness perspective to make the most out of those tools. Yeah.
Thank you. And on that note, if you want, like, to tell something, or like to have some words for CE founders, please do. This is the moment.
Yeah, so Forestay, as I said, based between Geneva and London. So Europe is a focus CE region more and more. Would love to do more deals, so please reach out if you're in that A to C stage. We've done one investment in the region, but we are definitely eager to do more, so do not hesitate to reach out at contact@forestay.vc or myself via LinkedIn or email on the website. You'll find me.
Thank you, Labinot.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.